Massey, and I'll be interviewing Nicole Micchia, a very good athlete, and one that is the captain of the Women's Heritage Varsity tennis team. She is very well known on Heritage. But Nicole, I have a question for you. As you're into the sports world of tennis and maybe a few other sports, are you familiar with the controversy of NCAA paying athletes?
Yes, I am, and my sister is also a college athlete, so it's kind of a topic in our family that we talk about a lot.
I gotcha. So Jules, your sister, is a rower, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome. So have you ever thought about, that situation of her being paid before?
I think that I've thought about it before, but she puts all her time and effort into that, and she has no time for a job. So luckily, my parents have offered her financial support. But if it was someone in a position who didn't have that, I think that it would be really hard because they can't get a job while also being a student athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a huge purpose. As she goes to the prestigious school of UNC, that it carries a lot of tradition there, and you brought up a good point there of these athletes that some don't have the privilege of me or you, where they have parents that could financially back them and they have to work these part-time jobs. That's a very good point. Nicole, I have another question. How valuable do you think an athlete is worth to a university? And you could think of your sister, Jules, or you could think of these elite like Trevor Lawrence caliber.
I think each one is extremely valuable just because, they're bringing in income, and especially those elite athletes. Everyone pays to go to these games and watch football, basketball, lacrosse, whatever it may be, and they're getting nothing in return for their hours that they put into it.
Absolutely. That is absolutely correct, Nicole. I'm kind of a believer as that as well. I feel like, these elite athletes that are bringing in these ratings and totally affect TV entertainment deserve to get their fair share. So in general, Nicole, do you believe that athletes should be paid?
Yes.
You do? Do you feel like every athlete should be paid? I know one of our earlier interviewees kind of had an opinion of only elite athletes should be paid. Do you think that, or do you think otherwise?
No, I think that all athletes should be paid because I think that most of them put in around the same amount of time and work. Another example with my sister, she has practice at 5 a.m. and then she ends practice at 8 and goes to class, and then she trains. So
Gotcha.
Even though she's not an elite athlete, she's still putting in a bunch of time, and that time is being given to the university, and the university isn't giving anything back.
I totally agree with that, Nicole. So, Nicole, let's just say down the line you were to play sports at an NCAA college or D1, D2, D3, and you were to play tennis on a women's tennis team. Do you believe an athlete like yourself should be paid?
Yeah, for sure. I think that women's tennis in general is very, it's a hard sport, and you put in a lot of time and effort, even not practicing with a team or practicing with a university. You're still doing the same amount of training and practicing as football players or basketball players.
Gotcha. Absolutely. And last question, Nicole. So, in general, this is going to be a little complex question. Do you believe companies like the NCAA are hurting the general welfare of society by abusing their multi-billion-dollar industry of these athletes and taking advantage of them in certain ways by not paying them? Do you believe they're taking advantage of these athletes by not paying them? I know that's kind of confusing. But
I would say yes, just because they are profiting off of them, and these athletes aren't really getting anything in return. And I feel like if we were to think of that in a different situation that wasn't the NCAA, it would be a whole different thing. But the NCAA is so known, and everybody is like, oh, this game, and it's a big game, so they don't really think about the athletes. They think about the school and what the organization is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point, Nicole. I really didn't think about that. Kind of the fact of the NCAA is so known and well known. Not a lot of people are going to judge them or really try to change their ways. But other than that, Nicole, thank you very much for participating with us, and thank you for being such a good athlete.
Thank you.